How y'all doing, ladies and gentlemen? It's me, your boy, Mr. Brown. Like I said in my earlier announcement that I was going to be doing something new this year. So the other day I was at work, you know what I mean? I was talking among my coworkers, and as we're talking, like, because we like to talk about movies and stuff a lot. So, like, as we're talking, I'm like, we'd be like, why this movie was good, why this movie was bad, what they could have did better, and all of that. And as I'm sitting there listening to them talk, I was like, you know what? That might be a great idea for YouTube. Yeah, this is how I would have did the movie. When I went to the theater to see it, the first 20 to 30 minutes was decent. It was pretty good. You know, you had the origin story. You had Richard Reed when he was younger. Sue Storm. You had all of them when they was younger. It was good. The first 20 to 30 minutes. I think off the rip, I probably would have casted somebody different as Ben Grimm, only for the fact that I just didn't see that guy particularly being Ben Grimm. Like, one, I know they're younger, but at the same time, it's like, get like somebody that's like bully size, if that makes sense. So I don't know who they would have casted, but I would have at least got somebody different from that. So moving on. Like I said, the whole setup was good. How they introduced everybody was all good. There's nothing wrong with that at all. But boom. When they went to the other place, this is where everything would have changed for me. Boom. So I like how they got their powers. Me personally, I love how Richard Reed got his power. I loved how the Thing got his power, even though I would have been like tripping if it was me. And how Johnny got his powers. And Doom, I can see it happening the same way it did. Alright, boom. Sue Storm, how she got her powers, cut out ASAP. I didn't like the fact that she just happened to be in the facility and she got her powers. Kind of wish the way I would have did it, I kind of would have made a setup where, as this is crazy, as Mr. Fantastic basically is trying to fix everybody. That's how I would make Sue get her powers, because it seemed more realistic. Like, yeah, you was in a facility and yeah, there was a major blackout, but why didn't anybody else get affected from the rays and only she did? So, like I said, I would have set it up where Richard Reed literally was trying to find a way to fix everybody, and as he's doing so, he accidentally hit her. Same way she gets her powers, but at the same time, it's differently, because it's not, oh, she just didn't happen to be in that place at that time. She's helping, and then she gets affected by it. And boom, that's that. That's how she gets her power. So you moving on in the movie, completely get rid of the military part of it, completely. Like, going on what I see in the other movie, I'm not a real big Fantastic Four comic book guy, but going on what I've seen in the previous movies, Mr. Fantastic, or Reed Richards, is supposed to be one of the smartest men in the world in Marvel comic book history. So the fact that they was being controlled by the military really turned me off from the movie. So like I said, I would have completely got rid of that. Boom, got rid of that. I do like the idea that they used the military to go to the other place, but after that, I feel as though, like, I know they try to think morally, like, we have to do this, like, because when they're younger, they more sustained to other things. But at the same time, I was like, all right, look, if you just put them in a facility where they have to basically figure out what they're going to do and all of that with their powers, and have Reed Richards, one of the smartest man, trying to figure out how to fix them, that makes more sense than the military. Also, that whole 1 year later thing, dead. Nah, that's over with. That we want to see how everybody deals with their powers. Like, yeah, it was gruesome and very intense how they got their powers, but at the same time, when they did it, it was like, yo, this seemed real. We want to see how they deal with this. Like, we don't want them to be like, oh, I bet. Boom. They got their powers. Let's skip a year later. No, we want to see how the thing recovered. We want to see how Johnny managed to, you know, suppress his powers. Like, we want to see all of that stuff. So that's one thing. That's another thing I would add. So in that whole time frame, I would show that in the movie. Show them doing different things. Show how they did in the other movies where Ben Grimm is actually dealing with this. You know what I mean? Like, oh well, bro, I'm a stone man. Like, how do I deal with this? You know what I mean? So like, you add that into here. You can still keep the ego from Johnny, because that's what makes his character, but like, make him more like presentable. Like, at not one point of the movie, not to turn this into a review, but at not one point of the movie I was like, you know what, I feel for Johnny. Nah, make him relatable. Even though he's the ego one, like, make him relatable. Like, boom, off the rip. Like I said, Sue Storm would get her powers, but not right away. They would manifest over time. Like, I think I like the idea. Like, literally just get it where she get her powers, and then as the movie's going along, she starts to like, yo, like, I'm turning invincible and all of that. Like, what the heck is going on with me and all of that stuff. Completely, like I said, show all of that. Show all of that. And then boom. I did like the idea of them like, oh wow, it worked. The teleportation worked. So I like the idea of them going back, but this time they don't go back to Doom. They go back to the Scrolls. Shout out to Launchpad 1412 for telling me that. Like, shout out to him, but go to the Scrolls. Like, one of the biggest villains of the Fantastic Four. Like I said, completely take Doom out, save him for the next movie. You know what I mean? And then have them dealing with that. You know what I mean? Like, make it seem like it's not just we have to use our powers to beat these guys. We actually got to use our brains. We got to use tactics and all of that to beat the Skrulls. One of the main Skrulls is he has the ability to do everything they do. You know what I mean? So like, this becomes a bigger test than, you know what I mean, just, oh, let's just try to beat this guy that can control energy. You know what I mean? No disrespect to Doom, but I feel as though they could have just completely got rid of him, kept him for a future movie if they was gonna do it, and use the Skrulls or Galactus. I know that would have been a reach, but I think anything else would have been way better than what they did with Doom. Because, like, one, he had telekinesis. I'm like, bro, come on. Telekinesis. He can make people's heads exposed by just looking at him. I'm like, when is he able to do this? So get rid of that completely. Alright, so boom. So you got this, you got the part of the movie where they learn their powers. And then the Skrulls are coming down. They was coming no matter what. You know what I mean? Obviously throughout the movie you show the different glimpses of them trying to figure out like what next world to conquer, and Earth is next and all of that stuff. I mean, it's outlandish, but it's a comic book movie, so it'll work. So you throw that in there, so they come to the listening, they actually get defeated. Like, make it a triumphant thing. Like, you know how when Rocky loses and then he trains and then next thing you know he comes back and he wins? Like, do it something like that. You know what I mean? Like, make it so when they lose they learn from it. You know what I mean? Not get their powers, know how to use it, Doom, we beat Doom. Nah, yeah, they try to do it in Fantastic Four, but at the same time, like, they not gonna learn from it in that moment. Yeah, their life is on the line, so it causes you to do different things, but at the same time, it's like, let them lose, let the world feel defeated, and then they come back to unite them as a group. You know what I mean? Like I said, I think overall, just changing the villain, the concept, and the overall plot of the movie will make it so much better, because it has so much potential as a movie. Like, I remember going in there and everybody be like, yo, this movie's trash. And I'm looking at the first 25 minutes, I'm like, yo, this is a good origin story, you know what I mean? But after that, 1 year later, after that, completely get rid of that whole movie after that. Except for the part where they try to go back to the energy. But then instead of going back to the land they was teleporting to, they go to where the Skrulls are. And this is like, you know, this is how you incorporate all of that stuff. You know what I mean? Thinking they got everything figured out, but something goes wrong. Like, that's how you add an extra plot. Because the only real plot to the movie is when they went over hold on. The only real plot to the movie is when they went over and everything went bad, and then three of them came back. It's the only difference. Like, at least when you think you got to figure it out and then it doesn't go your way, you come back, that's the new plot, because when you go back to the other place, you at a different place. Like, whoa, this not the same place. Like how they did it, but this time it's the Scrolls place. You know what I mean? So overall, change the villain, change the plot, keep the origin story, but show how they get their powers. You know what I mean? Like, show all of that. And you can even, this is why I hope Marvel gets rights to Fantastic Four, because even if you do that, like, you can set up the end where you do the what is it, the post credits or something like that. Like, you can do those, and like, oh wow, boom, now we know Galactus is coming the next movie, or Doom is coming from up the earth or something. You know what I mean? Like, that stuff like that. Like, this is how you can plan off of that. The reason why I'm so intense about this, because I love video. Like, I love it, and one of these days I really hope to be out here making movies. Hopefully I don't make terrible movies like that, but yeah. So that's how I would have made Fantastic Four. Hope you guys enjoyed it. I'm gonna try to do these probably like once or twice a week, if that. I gotta watch movies, so if you know any bad movies or any movies you just want to see how I would interpret it, let me know. Put it in the comment section. Don't forget to like, subscribe. If you are a Launchpad 1412 follower, shout out to him for like basically giving me the idea. So shameless plugs, I know, but yeah. Again, I'm MSA Brown. I'm probably gonna go by that from now on. Thanks everybody for watching. Hope you enjoyed.